With you. So I have a bunch of pictures. That is not me. That is apparently what AI imagined. We do. I have to work on my prompting with AI. I was like, that is not exactly what I envisioned, but that's all right. So for me, this day started like any other day, right? It was chaos wrapped in routine, right? The bell had just rung, and I was standing there in the hallway with my walkie talkie and trying to navigate three different situations at once. Right. So near the office, there was a student who was pacing back and forth, agitated because somehow they had already gotten into trouble. Like it's the beginning of the day. How are you in trouble already? So dealing with that situation, there's this teacher barreling down the hallway because somehow she figures out that I've found coverage because now suddenly she has an emergency and can't be in the building, but now it's my responsibility to find coverage for her classroom. Right. And then my principal just texted me saying, hey, the network is popping in for a quick walkthrough, but I'm in a meeting. Can you please help out with that? It wasn't even 8:30. And I remember I was just standing there in the hallway as all of this was happening. And I felt something inside me just begin to give. And I didn't yell, I didn't scream, I didn't shut down. Instead, I just stood there, right, with my walkie talkie in hand, watching all of the chaos around me. And I had a thought. This work that we're doing is challenging, and we recognize that, right? Because if we take a look at this picture here, this idea, we recognize that we are oftentimes in the middle. Somebody put up there that I'm in charge, but the buck doesn't stop with me. It's nice because I don't make all of the decisions, but I don't also get to do all of the things. I'm kind of stuck here in the middle, and everybody wants something from me. And because of that, we oftentimes have all these different roles, right? We're the fixer. We are responsible for running around making sure that everything is working properly. Whether that's a tech issue, like literally in here this morning, moving walls out of the way, right? Fixing the copy machine that keeps jamming. In fact, I decided to rename ours Bob Marley because it always be jamming, right? That's our literally our job, right? The fixers. Or sometimes we're the firefighters. Our goal is to run around and put out those small issues before they can spark up into bigger conflagrations and saying, hey, I got to make sure that I address this right away. And other times we're the sponges. We absorb everyone's issues, their frustrations, their anger, their disappointment. We absorb it all for them so that way they can go on and they can do their work. And I remember as I stood there and I was thinking about all of this, I was like, I can't do this. And I know what you're thinking right now, like that I jumped on LinkedIn and updated my resume and did all those things. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean I was going to quit. What I meant was that I can't do this like this. The way that I was operating was not feasible. It was not sustainable. I knew that something had to change. And it was in that moment that I discovered that I had fallen to what I now know as the scope trap. We're going to dive into this today. But I just want us to look at this very, very quickly. The idea of self identity. I was trying so hard to be everything to everyone else who they wanted me to be that I forgot who I was. I didn't know what it meant to be a leader anymore because I was trying to fit those definitions that everybody else was trying to put on me. We think about conflict. I sat in spaces between staff and students and administration, always trying to come up with solutions, always trying to fix other people's problems instead of allowing those things to happen naturally. We think about omnipotence. I thought that I had to know all, be all, do all for everyone all the time. Not feasible. We look about the physical domain. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was coming in early. I was staying late. I was taking my work home. Right? I was running on empty. And there's the emotional piece. Despite all of that, despite being in the middle of everyone, despite being surrounded by everyone, I felt unheard. I felt unseen. I felt unappreciated. And it was in that moment that I knew something had to change. And so for me, I wish I had my little clicker. What I had to do is I had to reframe what leadership meant to me. What does it mean to be in this middle leadership space? So for me, I did a couple.